never in my wildest dreams would I ever thought of having the life I have now. I've got so many things. I've got a great family. I mean, things are going great. And, you know, if you work hard and you got the ability, great things could happen to you, and you could really have a good life for yourself. So, you know, I mean, for me, it was a dream come true.
See, they shot high with his hand. I bet you if he would have shot it a little lower, he would have scored.
I think as a parent, you always have fears. Well, for Christopher, you know, basically I want him to be a good kid, you know, have a nice childhood. I mean, I'll be with him every step of the way and whatever he wants to do. You know, we've already started to talk about drugs. It's in the schools, it's on the street, it's all over the place. So, I mean, eventually you're going to be pressured or you're going to be asked to do something that, you know, you really might be messed up with, and you might be confused. You know, he's going to have pressures on him, put like any other kid.
Drinking. They see another person do it. Monkey see, monkey do.
Makes me happy. Down!
What's there?
Peer pressure.
When, like, kids' parents go away for the weekend, if someone has a house free, that's wild.
I've tried beer. People come up to you, and if they're your friends and they do it, they want you to do it with them because they don't want to do it by themselves.
I'm trying to get into a college, a good college.
If everyone else is drinking, you kind of feel that you should too, or else you're not cool or whatever.
One thing in my life, I like to be probably a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer.
Relaxes you, and then you just take everything as it comes. And
I don't think it's good to drink a lot. Just once in a while, I think it's okay.
Had a blast. I loved it. I had a good time. High school was the best time of my life. I mean, we'd skip classes and go and sit in the bathroom or leave school and come back wasted. Or the kids that would come in trashed from drinking. But then you grow up and you realize, you look back on what you did and say, oh my God, how did I ever get away with it? How did we ever do it and not get hurt or hurt anybody else?
I think when we think about the influences that a lot of young people are exposed to, the media being such a big one, and how they invite alcohol, cigarettes, and substances as being such a way to be cool and a way to belong, a way to fit in. I think that when we think about drugs in general, cigarettes, alcohol, and marijuana, we consider them gateway drugs. That these are certainly the ones that kids usually start with that lead to the harder drugs, cocaine being up there and crack. And that this is when all these earlier stages have now led up to a much bigger and much more dangerous addiction stages on a physical and psychological level.
There's lots of different pressures that teenagers feel in just living life today, especially inner city, and that is that one, there's pressures that they put on themselves as well as outside pressures, but pressures that they put on themselves is, do I match up? Do I add up to what everybody else is doing? Do I speak the right way? Do I walk the right way? Do I dress the right way? Is my hair cut appropriately? Am I wearing the right style? Am I hanging out with the right people?
At the highlight of my career, at the top of my career, what I had it all. I had everything.
Across to Sanderson, going in. Shot, go!
I look back at it, gee, there was a lot of fun. That was it, just 20 guys that got along together, and the media was on our side. My lifestyle then, when I first came into the league, I never drank. I was a very dedicated athlete. I paid attention to what curfews and what I was told. Of course, I quickly got away from that. I got into, I'm a professional. I can do what I want. Rules are meant to be broken. And I started to drink more. And I used to think I was drinking more because I was breaking rules. What it was I was drinking more because I was drinking for effect. I was drinking because I liked it. I liked being drunk. And I had fun. I could act stupid, and I could act silly and get away with it and blame it. Oh, I was drunk. I didn't know.
I think kids are challenged to go and use something that's illegal because they want to try it out and see what the big draw is. The pressure of trying to live in a country that has promises, that makes promises to kids that it can't give, and so the kids make up their own ways of fulfilling those promises for themselves. And the promise of living a good life here in this country seen through by kids very quickly, that they're not going to do it. They see what kind of track they're on, and so they can shortcut their track by either going to drugs, selling them, or doing other things that are illegal.
When you are doing them drugs, it's wonderful. I mean, smoking cocaine was my preferred drug, and there was no cloud number for the high that you felt. There was nothing. I mean, you felt untouchable. I mean, it was wonderful.
You feel different. You don't feel like yourself. You feel like you're on top of the world.
I want to be an actor.
A lot of my friends drink, and a lot of my friends can just drink and go to a dance and I think that I drink. When I drink, I drink too much.
I guess my ideal dream would be to play with the Bruins.
Yeah.
And maybe a breakaway here by Poulin, all alone, short-handed Dave Poulin. He scores! Another short-handed goal by...
Short-handed breakaway by Dave Poulin. He's going right on in. Shoot, score!
Well, I joined the Flyers in '82, '83, and Pele was a huge part of that team, and there's a certain invincibility at that time. Because that year we went to the finals and we thought, here we go, we have the greatest goalie in the world, we have a young team, we're going to do this forever. I mean, we're going to last forever, we're going to win forever. Pele was a neat kid, and we became very close on the ice, and because I used to challenge him all the time. He was so talented that he really didn't feel that he had to work that hard. You know, at the time, we were such a young team, and we hadn't experienced death. Most of us had 4 grandparents. And there was no one on the team, I believe, that had experienced death in any way.
A lot of people do it because they just want to get away. They have a problem, they have a problem, they have a problem.
And there's this kid, and he's been in and out of jail.
My friend who was on drugs, well, when she was only 13 at the time, and she was getting them from a man who was 27.
I guess everyone has a dream. I kind of always wanted to do something to do with music.
Gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it.
And I also have dreams of being a famous fashion designer, have my own line. So that's one of my major dreams, yeah.
If I drink before I go to a dance, I'll dance. I'll actually get up and dance.
I used to smoke pot a lot just to try to forget about any kind of problems.
I think parents are so naive. So I see a lot of kids that drink like every weekend and they smoke weed every single day.
Uh-huh.
Calm down, you
I don't
guys.
want you here anymore. I don't want you here.
I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't move, even if I tried.
I didn't care about anything.
I was thinking maybe going into the Air Force or something so I could travel.
You only drink once in a while, just to have fun, and you don't drink to excess. You just...
It's not a big crime.
It's not going to be a big deal.
We do know that the younger kids start, the more they are likely to become addicted faster. And that young people just need to hear that sooner.
Relationships, sex, it was something that I was terrified of. I was afraid of girls, I was afraid of rejection. I didn't like being laughed at or embarrassed or used. Now that's an inability to cope with social situations. The only time I felt comfortable was when I was on the ice, and because I knew what I was doing there. But you put me in a social situation I was like a duck out of water. So a couple beers relaxed me, and a couple beers did the trick early. I started to realize I was losing control, I think, unconsciously. When things weren't getting any better, when I wasn't learning how to deal with things any better, when all I looked for was one party after another, one laugh after another, one giggle after another, and nothing solid, nothing firm, nothing good, decent. Everything was a lark. Everything was a laugh. And that's very lonely. That's the life of a clown.
You know, getting high, you're supposed to have a good time. I mean, looking out windows, thinking there's people out there, looking on the floor for a rock you thought you dropped, which you didn't. I mean, it ain't a good time.
We have a great deal of pressure, as many people do in life. But ours is more magnified because you're constantly in the public eye. And after a game, the ability to relax is often enhanced by having a couple of beers and really literally taking the edge off. He was such a unique kid. I mean, he was someone who had come from Sweden, was the first goalie to be a true success in the NHL because they play such a different style. And, I mean, it's almost an aberration for someone coming that way to be a goalie, to win the Vezina Trophy. Do I think he was a problem drinker? Do I think he was an alcoholic? No, I don't.
I don't know, I looked at my life, my experience from drinking and doing drugs as just being a stage that I was going through in my life. And I was lucky enough that I realized what was going on with myself and other people and seeing the changes in life and society and seeing what happened to friends.
Well, I want to be a psychologist.
So two guys, they were fighting. Oh, I guess it was over drugs. And so this guy, he got shot right here in the head. He dropped right in front of me.
And I also want to go to law school.
There's people out there killing for the stuff. I mean, 13, 14-year-old kids with guns shooting each other.
And I want to be in the Navy also. There's a lot that I want to do.
Any single thing I could possibly do to make money to get drugs, I would do anything.
It's sad to see a lot of young kids dying because of drinking and drugs or driving, drugs or something.
I was in Central Park and it was cold and God, how did I get here? This is brutal. And I saw a guy come into the park, and Brooks Brothers type, you know. He was an executive. Lost his tie somewhere, in some nightclub somewhere. But he's kind of disheveled. He's been on a 3-4 day banger, you know. He's going pretty good. So he had 2 bottles, one in each pocket in his top coat. So I was going to wait for him to kind of go to sleep. Then I was going to steal his bottle from him. And I didn't wait long enough. He wasn't as far gone as I thought. And I was reaching for the bottle, and he woke up. And I said, hey, what are you doing here? What do you want? I said, guy, give me a drink. I said, you know, we're in the same spot. And he says, nah, he says, get your own. I said, come on. I said, you know, and there I'm begging another drunk. I'm begging under a bridge. I'm begging this drunk for a drink. And he's going, get away from me. So I said, come on. I said, you know who I am? Which is probably the single dumbest thing I ever said to anybody in my life. She, I know who you are. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. All the shame and guilt come. I just don't tell anybody, you know. I mean, I'm famous. He says, you're a drunk. He said, now leave me alone. Get your own. And he walked away. And I stood there. Not only did I have nothing, he took whatever anything I had left, gone. I'm drunk. And I just went right straight down on my knees and said, God help me. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this anymore.
I was out of control. I mean, the drug had control of me. There was no way I was controlling that drug, because I would do anything for it. I would steal from anyone, my family, anything I could do to get another hit of that pipe, I would do it. Any single thing. You know, I was in a place where I'd be up all night and wait till the malls opened in the morning to go over the mall and steal things, just so I can run back and get enough, you know, to get a couple hits off the pipe. And that's what I was doing for the last 3-4 years of my life. And it ain't like I revolved around it. It was like it just controlled me. It took me over, you know? And now I have to sit here for the consequences. I have to be locked in a cell 19 to almost 20 hours a day because of a drug addiction. And those things are supposed to make you feel good. And if feeling good is this, then it's something I don't want to feel no more.
The night has been replayed many times in my mind, very explicitly, and we were on a terrific roll, very confident, very high, and we played against the Boston Bruins that night. And so after the game, everyone decided to go have a bite to eat. The time passed probably 2.5 hours to 3 hours, and I could remember talking to Pelly maybe 10 or 15 minutes before he left the bar, very clearly. And he'd been drinking, yes, and I left and went home. I'd been home maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and the phone rang. It was Murray Curbin on the phone. He said, Pelly's been in an accident. He's really bad. You have to do something. And one of the toughest things I've ever done in my life, I called 22 or 23 guys at 9 o'clock Sunday morning and woke them up individually and told them, you have to come down to the hospital now. And of course, everyone's reaction is, well, what happened? And I said, well, Pelly was in an accident. And they said, well, why do we have to come down to the hospital? And I said, you have to come down to the hospital. And it was, I mean, it was...
It was a beautiful summer night. We left the reception after partying, having a good time, dancing. I had been drinking, and I knew the driver had had a few drinks, but she was the designated driver, so I didn't think twice about leaving with her. I had asked her a couple of times if she was okay to drive, and she said yes. So I just took it upon that and took her word, you know, for what it was, and got in the car with her to leave. I knew a couple of other people had questioned her, and she said she was fine. She had just gotten a brand new sports car, which was a convertible. And I figured she would know enough whether or not she was sober enough to drive. We got in the car, we left the reception, we got on the highway, took him home, and the last thing I remember is looking up on the car in front of us. We were gonna rear end. Next thing I remember was waking up in the trauma unit in the hospital. And we had a very bad accident. The accident was so bad that they had to stop traffic on both sides of the highway, and they took me out by helicopter. Last thing I remember is waking up in the hospital, and they were putting pins in my head to stabilize my neck. And from there, I found out that I had broken my neck and that I was paralyzed for the rest of my life.
Oh, geez, you're sober. This must be easy. It's not. This is the single hardest, toughest thing I had to do. People don't understand the hours I stared at a bottle and craved it, and the months, and the pain, and the unknown fears. Just how do you deal with this, and the panic.
And maybe it has to hit real close to home. It shouldn't have to be that close to make it a reality. And for us, it was as close as it can be without being yourself. There's a certain emptiness you associate with that evening. And did it start, I mean, was that the starting point or was that an ending point? I think it was an ending point for the way that we were doing things.
My life was so normal, and to have something so abnormal happen to you, your whole life turns upside down. I get up in the morning, I get up out of bed with somebody picking me up and put me on a chair. Somebody washes my hair, my body, and from there I come out, I dry off, I do my makeup, somebody does my hair, somebody dresses me, somebody puts me back in bed to get me dressed. Oh God, it's so empty. It feels like I'm alive, but from the neck down, I feel like my body is dead. I look at it every day. Every day it's right there. I'm a reminder of myself, of the mistake that I made.
Prison, I mean, they tell you when you can eat, you know. They lock you in your room. You have no choice. You have to wear what they want you to wear. You get to see people, your friends, your family, when they want you to see them on their times. It's just a terrible place to be in, you know, and drugs put me here and crime put me here. Maybe them things don't sound too bad, but when you're locked in, like, you have barbed wire fences around you, and you just, you know, you look around you, and you just know you're incarcerated, and you know what you did to get into this wasn't worth it. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna be when I grow up? You know, when I'm older? Am I gonna be in jail all my life, or am I gonna make the right choices, stop doing drugs and start doing the right thing, being a human being?
This ain't no way to spend your teenage years, you know? My class is graduating this year. I should be at the prom, and instead, I'm sitting in my cell, you know?
I was running away from anger. I was running away from fear. I hate rejection. And when I had drugs in my pocket, I was everybody's friend. Everybody liked me. I was sitting on top of the world. And if you didn't like me, I didn't care. You know, I just didn't care because I had my friend in my pocket.
Once you start doing drugs, you're a loser. You're gonna be right here with me. I'll see you when you get here. Leave the drugs alone, I'll see you when I get out.
If you're ever thinking about turning to drugs instead of talking to somebody, I suggest, you know, talk to the person first. You know, or talk to a lot of people at that before you even think about turning to drugs or alcohol.
If it has to do with drugs, see someone that really you can lean on.
There's a lot of teaching out there, but there's a lot of people that's not hearing what's being said.
I can't really tell them to stop because you can't tell anyone to stop. You can only give them information so they can make the decision for themselves.
There's a lot of help out there. There's places you can go, people that will help you.
There are thousands and thousands and thousands of other children that are experiencing the same kinds of feelings, that are going through the same kinds of experiences, and that they need to know that we need to start talking about it more openly and let each other know that it's okay to talk about it. There are places they can go for help, and there are programs and groups and support groups that teenagers can go and talk about how they're feeling. I encourage all teenagers to be who they are, experience who they are, be honest with how they're feeling, and take what we call the consequences today for being honest and true to yourself.
Well, I think it's very important for kids to set goals. I think if you don't set goals, you fall short of anything that you want to do because you don't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you don't have that, then what do you do with your life? So I think sports give kids an opportunity to not only see something that functions from its beginning and then goes to its middle and its end, it also provides kids with a very powerful way of setting goals and making decisions as well.
For me, sports was really good in that way, where I was, you know, with people, friends that wanted to play sports and were serious about it and put a lot of time in. And by doing that, you know, you don't get yourself in situations sometimes and just walking the streets.
My goals are to become an architect.
I want to go to college.
I just want to be a business executive.
I've been thinking about law for a long time, and maybe writing, because I've always been interested in writing.
And like Martin Luther King said, I might be in jail, but I still am somebody. And even if you're poor, you can still be somebody. And if you're not making all the right kind of money, you're still somebody. So if I had to tell kids anything, just be somebody. But don't be drunk and don't be on drugs.
stay close to your family and understand yourself and who you are.
Your own decisions, but don't let anyone else pressure you into it.
And I can act crazy and go party without drinking or having drugs.
If you have a dream, you gotta, you stick to your dream and you keep trying. Don't never give up. I mean, hey, man.
Well, for Christopher, I'll be with him every step of the way and whatever he wants to do. And I'm sure he's going to, at some point in time in his life, where he's going to be put in a situation where it's got to be a decision made about drugs and all that, and hopefully know how to react and make the right decisions.
Whatever you do out of life, be the best at it.
It's your decision.
Don't think about your friends. Think about yourself, because your friends are not going to be there for you all the time.
I mean, you have a dream, and you want that dream real bad, set your goals, and just do your work. You know, hang in there, and you should be able to make it.